So what should have been pre-race week video, and it's not. Again. Yeah, obviously I think most people on here probably also follow me on Instagram, so I've seen my brief update, but I thought I would maybe talk a little bit more through what's been going on, what we think recovery might look like, and then plans for the rest of the year. Well, I say plans. I'm not really making plans anymore because every time I seem to make plans, they seem to go out the window. So, but yeah, so like I sort of alluded to on Instagram, had kind of had actually a pretty good block of training in and around some of the gravel, was feeling pretty positive about Ironman post going to Unbound. And yeah, and Unbound seemed like, again, just the right thing to go and do, to go and experience the kind of madness of a massive gravel race in the middle of America. And yeah, it was really cool, like super glad that I did it. So despite not being the result, obviously, that I wanted. But yeah, probably the week or two before Unbound, my left hip, which like historically has always felt a bit tighter than my right hip. I've investigated it before. There's never been anything obvious going on, and it doesn't usually bother me during exercise, so I kind of just get on with it. But the kind of feeling that I had there that usually is sort of fine, kind of got much worse and was like much tighter. So I sort of offloaded it a bit, wasn't really running. We thought it could be neural and that maybe like my back had flared up a bit, or maybe it was just a bit inflamed, we need to let it settle down. But yeah, unfortunately that didn't really work. And then post Unbound, it was like fine for like a day, and then like a day after actually got much worse, potentially due to the very high cadence at the end of the long race, and actually like moved into the front of my hip flexor and was like actually like really quite sore. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get this checked out and make sure it's nothing super serious. So yeah, went and got the MRI. Like I said, like the good news is sort of spine wise, disc wise, that actually all looks fine. So that's actually good. Like I was a bit worried that if that was kind of getting worse again, like there's not loads of options of what to do. But yeah, the MRI showed that I've got this sort of moderate to large hip effusion, which they're not entirely sure why it's there. Not entirely sure why I've got the effusion, and what's kind of really triggered it. There was like a couple of other findings that are kind of incidental, like I've got a bit of a labral tear, but they think that's just a kind of wear and tear, the kind of thing that most endurance athletes would have if they scanned them. So kind of frustrating from a not really no clear answers around why I've got this effusion going on, what's caused it. The recommended course of action was have this injection, so steroid injection, similar to what I had in my back at the end of last year, but a little bit different. It's a slightly different mix of sort of steroid and what he basically described as engine oil to try and get the hip moving. But similar kind of recovery in terms of have kind of 1 to 2 weeks of offloading, letting it kind of really settle in and kind of chill the inflammation out, and then kind of build back again slowly. So annoyingly that kind of takes out all the next races that I was looking at doing, and rules out basically all of the July races because I won't have enough time to actually get fit again. Because by this point I've kind of had 3 weeks now of not really doing very much with the kind of travel around Unbound, etc. And that for me then was like, well, that rules out Kona for me, because if I have to do a later Ironman, Kalmar's basically the last one that potentially I could do, but even with that, that's going to be basically 8 weeks from when I start training, and then it's not that long after that until Kona. And for me, I'm like, I don't see the point in going to Kona this year, having missed probably like another month of running in the middle, and then being relatively fatigued from an Ironman quite close to Kona. I think with the level of where the women's field is at now, I just wouldn't be able to be as competitive as I want. And considering I've had another year so far of earning zero money, I can't really afford to go to Kona and take that chance that I somehow get a magic day and can at least balance it out and be cost neutral. So yeah, sort of made that decision of, okay, I'm going to rule Kona out for this year, which, yeah, kind of sucks. It's going to be the first year in the last like 8 that I'm not going to be at the Ironman World Champs, which feels quite strange. But yeah, equally, I don't want to be on the start line of a World Champs not feeling as prepared as I could be, and lining up knowing that I haven't given myself the best shot of putting together a good race. And the real the real silver lining is that it actually means that I can go and do Ironman Wales, which has been on my bucket list for a long time. Obviously, everyone, being British, everyone talks about Ironman Wales as just having this amazing atmosphere, but it's always too close to Kona for me to do it, or the World Champs when it's been Nice. So it gives a real opportunity to be like, actually, I can go and do that. I maybe won't be enjoying it quite as much when I'm like halfway through the bike and I'm like, it's basically an hour longer than pretty much every other Ironman bike. But I think the crowds will hopefully get me through, and it will hopefully be a good little, like a good experience of being able to enjoy those Tembe crowds, to distract me from missing Kona. And so hopefully I'll be able to get some other races in around it. Like there's options, there's like end of year options. Kalmar is potentially an option as like a kind of warm-up race, I guess. I need to see kind of how the hip settles, how the training kind of builds back up, and go from there. I think like I put in my Instagram post, I kind of at the beginning of the year, I was like, if I get another injury, like I'm just done. Like it's been so hard trying to come back from all the calf issues, especially like when we didn't really know what was causing it, and sort of trying to build yourself back up every single time, and every time you get close to being able to race, like something else happening. And to be honest, like this year has felt a bit like that as well, like with actually being super fit for South Africa, super ready for it. And then I guess a combination of everything that was going on with Jack and Vicky, and also picking up a bit of an illness, like probably linked to the emotional kind of trauma. I think that combination of just getting a bit derailed has such an impact on the year, but then equally the perspective it gives. Like I had a great sort of chat with my family the other week of like, I've kind of come to terms with, okay, this does really suck, because like it sucks. Like it's what I'm trying to make my living out of. It's what I've poured so much emotionally, physically, financially, like the last however many years, and to not even kind of get the chance to go and show what I think I'm capable of is super frustrating. Hopefully I will get that chance later in the year, but it just makes you feel like you're just failing at what you're trying to achieve. But on the flip side, I was like, everything else in my life is great. Like I've got a great relationship, I've got great friends, the family's great. Like ultimately, I was like, I feel super lucky because everything else is brilliant. It's just this one little area continues to be absolutely shit. But I also still get to chase that dream and try, which has like ultimately, I think, as long as I feel like I've given it my best shot and I've tried, like you can't really ask for much more than that. So yeah, we'll keep trying, keep picking myself back up. Currently still feeling like relatively positive about it. I think as more of the races come round that I was eyeing up, I will feel less positive about it and have some ups and downs. But yeah, I think you just got to keep picking yourself back up and see what happens.